Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning, Super Readers. Thanks for joining us in our Valley PBS classroom. I'm Mrs. Nix.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Vang.
I'm Mrs. Hammock.
And this is a place for us to come to learn, practice, and
Grow our brains.
to become even stronger readers, writers, and thinkers. So let's get started by warming up our brains with some
Ear training
called Daily Phonemic Awareness. Now, what's Daily Phonemic Awareness? Well, it's just a fancy way of saying turn on your ears and listen for the sounds. Today, we're going to do what's called phoneme isolation. Again, that just means we're training our ears to listen for a particular sound. Today, what I want us to do is help me figure out what do we hear at the beginning of a word.
Okay.
At the beginning of a word.
Beginning.
Okay, so let's practice one. Here's one. How about the word thin? Thin. What do we hear at the beginning? Do you know at home? Yes. Did you say? You would be correct. Thin starts with. Nicely done. How about this one? It's very similar. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. How about thump? Thump. I hear a lot of sounds in thump. What do we hear at the beginning of thump? Any ideas, Mrs. Vang?
I think it's the
That would be correct. Yes.
same as thin.
Same as thin. Thin and thump both have excellent job. I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. Those were at the beginning of a sound or of a word. Let's listen for the sounds at the end of a word. How about fish? Fish. What do you hear at the end of fish? Did you say sh? You're correct. That's exactly it. Fish has sh at the end. How about this one? Path. Path. I see lots of different strategies. They're counting out their sounds on their fingers. They're tapping it in the air. What do you do at home to figure out what happens at the end? Path. Did you hear the at the end? Great job. Okay, you know what else that I really like to do with sounds? I like to get our bodies moving and grooving.
I knew you were going to say that.
Let's do a little dancing this morning. This one's about proper nouns. Are you ready to do it? All right, stand up and give yourself a little bit of space and let's do it. Here we go.
Proper nouns are special nouns, it's guaranteed. They name particular people and places and things indeed. Like Abraham Lincoln in Idaho and Buddy and Charlie, my cats, you know they are special nouns that we call proper nouns.
All right, we're going to go in a circle now. Good job.
Proper nouns have capital letters, it's guaranteed. They name particular people and places and things indeed. Like Kelly, my sister in Santa Fe, and the names of every month and day. They are special nouns that we call proper nouns.
I can feel my heart moving.
Nouns are special nouns, it's guaranteed. They name particular people and places and things indeed. Like Bill, my neighbor in Tennessee, and Buzzy, my stuffed yellow bumblebee. They are special nouns that we call proper nouns. Proper nouns have capital letters, it's guaranteed. They name particular people and places and things indeed. Like
My legs are
Dr.
gonna fall
Brown
off.
and the Milky Way and the names of every holiday.
I
They
hear
are
lots of proper
special
nouns. Can you guys
nouns that
hear them?
we call proper nouns.
Awesome job. That was great.
That was a workout.
My brain
Wow.
sure is ready to learn.
Oh, me too. All right, and I'm excited because this week we are going to be talking about digraphs. Digraphs are 2 letters, but they only make 1 sound. Isn't that cool?
That is very cool.
All right, let's come on over to our board and take a look. We're going to work on the thumb card. You heard that sound in our phonemic awareness.
My nose is itchy.
Thumb. And that just kind of a little helper, right? So thumb, TH, and that's how it's spelled. Then we have the shell card. Shell. Shh. That's one of the ways I like to remember it. And it's spelled, when you hear that shh sound, it's spelled with the SH. And then we have a really, really tricky one. This is the sing card. And we have this here because it represents NG. That's how we spell the ng sound. But I like to add a little more to it than that because the ng sound, is never it's never by itself. So the ng sound is always with a vowel in front. So one of the ways that I like to help my readers learn what it would sound like in a word is by adding the vowels that you will see it with in words. So it's the sing card. It says but this is how you will find it in words. ing, ing. ang, ang. ong, ong. And ung, ung. Ing, ang, ong, ung. Because when you see that ng, that is one of the vowels that you'll see it with. So if you can remember that little chunk of a word, that will help you when you see that digraph. All right, we're going to work on this all week long, so don't worry. I know you can do hard things, and it's going to take us a little practice to get really good at it. So let's practice blending some words and then building some words, and we'll have our friends come in and help us so that we can hear how well they do with their digraphs. Are you ready? Great. Hey, friends. It's
Good
so
morning.
Oh,
Good morning,
Tina.
Mrs. Hammock.
That's such a lovely bow you have.
Oh, thank you so much.
Wow.
My friends gave it to me.
I thought maybe it was picture day or something. You look so festive and fancy.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Good morning, Ricky.
Good morning.
I'm so glad you guys are here to help us with digraphs. All right, so the first one I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to sound it out, or I'm going to say the sounds, and then I'll put it together so that you can kind of see what I want you to help us with. Okay. So you see it's under the TH card. So this one says f, I, n. Remember that short I and the N sound. So f, I, n. Thin. Thin. Did you hear it?
I did.
How'd you guys do?
I think I did okay.
It kind of sounds like the, but it's not because it's a. That's
Ricky.
hard with my teeth here.
Oh, Ricky, that is such a good call out because sometimes readers think that it is the sound. But to make this sound, we have to put our teeth kind of on our bottom lip, and we say, and this is the fire card. Remember, F for fire card. But this is the, look at my tongue now, it's sticking out, for thumb. And you know what, the TH is tricky? Another reason? Because it's just air. Listen, if you put your hand here and say that sound, your vocal cords don't make any noise. We're going to learn how it can make noise later this week. But for now, we'll just think about it as, we call it unvoiced It doesn't have a voice because it's just air.
I'm gonna practice that.
You are going to
today.
get really good at it. Very nicely done. All right, now let's go on to our shell card. And who thinks they would like to try this one?
Oh, I know it.
Oh.
Cause shell, cause look at my
because you have
shiny
a shell. Oh,
I have a
that's
shell.
perfect. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
I'll point, you read.
Okay, here we go. Shh. P. Shop. 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 Oh, I like to shop at the store.
That is excellent, and that is correct. All right, Ricky, because you're such a great reader, I kind of saved the hard one for you. Do you think you're up for the challenge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I can do it.
I know you can. All right, here we go, Ricky. Ready?
Or sing.
Good. Now remember when I said the I is there? So we can put those together. Do you remember the chunk and what it says when there's an I in front?
It says ing,
Very nice. Let's try it.
ing, sing.
Beautifully done. Nice work. All right, let's build a word together. We might only have time for one word today, but let's try this word. Oh, I got it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I would like help building the word wish.
Oh.
Wish. Wish. Does anybody know what that first sound is?
That's the W.
You are right. That is our window card. Okay, what's the middle sound?
Oh, it's the I, like in Ricky's name.
Very nice.
I.
That is the short I. I.
And look at my shell, like the shell card.
You are right. The SH says shh. And here we have the word wish. Wish. Great job. Well, I hope you have a wish that comes true this week as we practice our digraphs. Thank you for helping me. And my readers at home and I are going to read a sentence, and I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Mrs. Hammock.
Bye, guys. All right, here is our sentence to use those digraphs in context. You ready to try it with me? Beth thinks she spots a fish in the pond. Beth thinks she spots a fish in the pond. Did you see how we incorporated our blends with that and all the things we've been learning? Because those pieces are all connected. We connect all those skills together to become strong readers. Another thing we do to be strong readers is we learn our high frequency words. And Mrs. Nix is going to help us with that with some really cool things. Let's go see her.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mrs. Hammock. And yes, that's exactly what we're going to do today. I have some new words for us to focus on this week because high frequency words are just that. There's those words that we see often in our reading, in our writing. And so it's really important for us to just learn them so we're not spending all of our brain power when we're sounding out our words. So let's look at our words that we're going to do today. And this week, we have 5 of them. All right. I'm going to read them out loud, and then you're going to read them with me. Let's do this. So we have all, call, day, her, and want. All right. Today I want us to focus on this word right here. The word is all. Say it with me. All. Sound it out, or spell it with me. A-L-L spells all. Excellent. Now, I have a sentence here, but it's all mixed up. Can we use all with these words that are here? Do you see some clues that could help us figure out how to put this in order? Ooh, I heard someone say the period goes at the end. So here's a period, so I know that in the class goes at the end of our sentence. Do you see any other clues? Ah, the capital goes at the beginning. So I see, and in the class, and we have the kids and all. So I see, how about this? All the kids in the class. Did you get it? Excellent job. Okay, when we're talking about high frequency words, that's one way we can do it. We can practice putting them in a sentence or finding them in our sentences. But here's another really fun activity that you might try maybe at school or with your adults at home. But if you have just a white crayon, or in this case, I'm going to do a yellow crayon so that I can see it in the beginning, you can practice writing your words on a piece of paper with that crayon. Now, if you do it with white, you're not going to be able to see it. But here's the magic. You take your paint, just a little bit of watercolor, and then you can color right over it, and your word magically appears, just like that. And you can have all of your words show up, and you can say, look at all of my high frequency words, and practice reading them that way. How fun is that? You can make different colors. You can do all kinds of fun designs. It's a lot of fun, and I encourage you practicing at home. All right, we've got a story that we're gonna listen to today. And remember, we're working on our skill to reread. And so that's something we do when we are reading something and we're looking for those important details. Sometimes we need to go back and revisit the selection. So listen today, and then let's practice doing a little responding when we come back. All right, enjoy.
The story of Martin Luther King Jr. This story is written by Johnny Ray Moore and illustrated by Amy Wummer.
We have plenty of time.
Every January we celebrate the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. Do you know why we remember him? Martin was born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. His father was a preacher. His mother was a school teacher. Martin liked to go to school. He always did more than his teachers asked him to do. Martin's school was old. It needed a lot of fixing, but the school for the white children was new. Martin and his mom and dad liked to eat out, but some restaurants would not serve them. Martin could not drink from all the water fountains. He had to find one with a sign that read colored. This made Martin angry. He wanted to go to the best school. He wanted to eat out at any restaurant, and he wanted to drink from any water fountain. When Martin grew up, he became a preacher. One day he spoke to more than 200,000 people. Martin said, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin." Martin made his dream come true. Now we can all eat in any restaurant, drink from any water fountain, go to any school, and dream our dreams just like Martin Luther King Jr.
Did you guys enjoy that story? That was a great story. Can I retell it? Well, how about we work on some responding to reading? Because remember, one of our strategy is if you are reading and you don't understand or comprehend what you're reading, you should go back and read. So I have some questions for you. And if you don't remember, what can we do? We can go back and read. That's right. So let's see if you can help me with some of these questions. Ready? The first one says, what are some things that young Martin Luther King Jr. and his family experienced that were unfair? So, as you were reading the story, do you remember some of the things that they experienced that were unfair? There's lots of things that he talked about, but guess what? Martin Luther King Jr., why are those in uppercase? Oh, good eye. You see, Martin Luther King Jr., that's his name, and that's a proper noun. Remember that song that we danced to? Proper nouns needs capitalization. So can you remember that when we do our writing? I will. Good job, Ricky. Okay, so now, What are some things that young Martin Luther King Jr. and his family experienced that were unfair? I think there was something about his school. His school wasn't as new as the other ones. You're right, his school wasn't as new, and some restaurants wouldn't let them eat in there. Yes, and what else? And then he could only drink a water fountain that had the word colored on them. You're right. Was that some of the things you guys came up with? Awesome. Okay, now, remember, if you aren't sure, go back and read that story. Now, what did Martin become when he grew up? Do you remember? He became a preacher. You're right. What was one of the things he did as a preacher? He spoke to lots of people about not being judged by the color of your skin. You're right. Oh, Ricky, you did such a good job. I didn't even have to go and read. You are correct. But remember, that's a great strategy. If you aren't sure of the answer to my comprehension question, make sure you go back and read. Awesome job. Okay, now let's go into our writing. So our writing prompt today has to do with our story about Martin Luther King Jr. So our writing prompt today says, write about what you've learned about Martin Luther King Jr. So can you think of some things that you've learned? What can you write about? So think about some of the details or facts that you've learned from our story, and let's see if we can get some more friends to come help us. Friends, help! Oh, can you call them? Tina! Rita! Here we are! Were you guys listening and reading the story along with us? What were some facts that you guys learned about Martin Luther King Jr.?
I made you think for a second. Tina, do you have something?
You know what? I was thinking about when we were celebrating his birthday.
When do we celebrate his birthday?
And it was, it's after December,
It was his birthday month.
Was it January?
Oh, that's right. It was in January. And so I would think that I learned that we celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday in January.
Oh, good fact. Okay. So Tina said that I learned, and I started your sentence for you, Tina. I learned that we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. in January. And Tina, I love that you remember Martin Luther King. That's his name. It's a proper noun. We need to capitalize those. And remember, all months of the year are also proper nouns, so we need to capitalize that also. So if you're writing, make sure you guys are capitalizing those proper nouns. Okay, Rita?
Yeah?
Do you have a fact for me?
Yes.
What did you learn?
Yeah, I learned that Martin Luther King Jr. was a preacher. That means he talked at church.
That's right, good fact. So Rita learned that Martin Luther King Jr. was a preacher. And remember, Martin Luther King Jr. was his name, which is a proper noun. So remember, when you're writing and you have those proper nouns, because remember, all names are proper nouns. And proper nouns are like nouns, but they name a special noun. That's why sometimes we call them special nouns. So when you write your fact about Martin Luther King Jr., make sure you are writing with a capital for a proper name. And don't forget, the first word of your sentence also needs to be a capital. So I want you guys to think about your fact. Oh, did you guys have one more for me?
Oh, yeah,
We have
Okay.
one more. We were thinking that Martin Luther King, he helped make things fair for all people.
Oh, he did. That's a great fact. Oh, thank you. That was a great fact. That I learned that he made things fair for everyone. That Martin Luther King Jr. helped make things fair for all people. Awesome job. Okay, you guys know what time it is. Let's see if you guys have read this book.
Hello everyone, my name is Tamika Tatum. I'm a first grade teacher at Thomas, and I wanted to share one of my favorite books with you, and it's called The World Needs Who You Were Made to Be by Joanna Gaines, illustrated by Juliana Sweeney. And I love this book because it highlights all the differences that we have, and at the end you will see what all those differences create. check it out. Please watch Valley PBS.
Thank you, Mrs. Tatum, for sharing that book with us. I have not read that book. I don't know if you guys have read that book.
Nope, another great one that I want to go check out.
So
Absolutely.
I'm going to try to go in my library maybe.
Oh, could I maybe check on Sora?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ray D.
Ray D. Who?
Ready, not? Here I come.
Oh my
golly.
goodness.
You guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you back here at Valley PBS tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.